1977, the year Elvis died. Jimmy Carter took office. Star Wars was released. Led Zeppelin played their last concert. Harvey Milk became the first openly gay lawmaker in San Francisco. Fleetwood Mac released their magnum opus Rumors. And of course, the year Donald Trump Jr. was born, the eldest of Trump's 5 children. His mother Ivana suggested the name, but Donald initially protested, fearing what would happen to his name if his son were a loser.
Hi, this is Ted Cruz calling.
And for a long time, Don Jr. was a loser in his father's eyes.
Hi, this is Ted.
But the disdain went both ways.
Now under development, the Trump divorce. Donald and Ivana are in negotiations.
It took more than a year for the divorce battle to end, and it was all very public.
We were actually standing near the restaurant, getting ready to put skis on. And I was standing there like an idiot. And Marla and Ivana were here. And they wasn't shouting, but you could obviously see there was some friction.
When Trump walked away from their 13-year marriage, it cost him a total of $14 million. The bill came due not long after wife Ivana confronted mistress Marla après-ski in Aspen.
Don Jr. blamed his father for their parents' very nasty divorce in 1992.
And remember, what? Don't get mad, get everything.
Hey, Ronnie Rump, his frat brother would say with a wink and a nod. Don Jr. tried going total incognito in his early adult years, living it up like your average bohemian drifter with an eccentric billionaire dad. He took to the waves, and even grew his hair out a bit. "Would you like some more ice on that Diet Coke?" he asked the vacationers at the Aspen bar he worked at. But for whatever reason, Don Jr. didn't stick to the waves, and Ronnie Rump, once again, became Donnie Trump of the Trump Organization in Manhattan, New York.
I love my life. I have a wonderful family. They're saying, Dad, you're going to do something that's going to be so tough. You know, all of my life I've heard that a truly successful person, a really, really successful person, and even modestly successful, cannot run for public office. Just can't happen. And yet that's the kind of mindset that you need to make this country great again. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
When his father decided to run for president, he gave his daughter Ivanka the keys to the 2016 campaign, and his son Eric the keys to the Trump Organization. Don Jr. needed to make some sort of a splash if he wanted to get something going for himself. Ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring. Who is it? It's British publicist Ron Goldstone. Hey, Don Jr., I represent a Russian businessman / ultra rock star, and he says he has some damaging information about Hillary Clinton. Well, if it's what you say, I love it. Don Jr. then convenes a meeting in Trump Tower with a bunch of Russian lobbyists and a lawyer representing the Russian businessman / ultra rock star. He also invites Jared Kushner and Paul Manafort.
Hello.
It took about 2 seconds for them to figure out that it was all a scam and there was no Clinton dirt. And Kushner even texted Manafort that the meeting was total bullshit. Then Kushner texted his assistant to give him a reason to leave. "What are we doing here?" Kushner called out to anyone who would answer. Okay, there's no Clinton dirt, but like, you guys have crippling sanctions against our country. Please do something about it if your father wins. Come on, guys. We can work something out. But oh well, no harm, no foul. Until there was harm and foul. Fast forward about a year later, the now President Donald Trump is sitting back enjoying a cool Diet Coke on Air Force One, probably watching Fox News to see how his appearance at the G20 summit was received. For a brief moment, everything seems to be at peace. Until someone bursts through the door. "We have a big problem, Mr. President. The New York Times is about to publish that Don Jr. met with Russian lobbyists last year. This could be a big problem for us, especially considering we're accused of being complicit in Russian meddling efforts. What should we say, Mr. President?" I have a statement. Are you writing this down? "Tell them my son and my son-in-law met with Russian lobbyists because," drumroll please, "they were interested in talking about Russia lifting its ban on Americans adopting children from their country." Yeah, that one's gonna stick. Sky. "Hello, sir. We have landed back in Washington," said the pilot. "Oh, good. I bet my summit will dominate the news cycle."
"I'd like to apologize to Eric Trump. We always thought you were the dumb one. We were wrong."
Fuck. Not you too, Glenn Beck. Once again, Don Jr. had fucked up. But once again, his father fucked up even bigger time.
To the White House now, President Trump personally dictated his son's first explanation about his campaign meeting with a Russian lawyer. That's according to a report on the front page of this morning's Washington Post. The paper says the president directed his son to say the meeting was primarily about Russian adoption. It was later revealed that...
Wake him up right now. Emin, wake up. Come on. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Emin? Emin, let's get with it. You're always late. You're just another pretty face. I'm really tired of you. You're fired.
Not only did the president have to take full responsibility for the statement put out in Jared and Don Jr.'s name.
Look, the statement that Don Jr. issued is true. There's no inaccuracy in the statement. The president weighed in as any father would based on the limited information that he had. John?
Can you clarify the degree to which the president weighed in?
He certainly didn't dictate, but, you know, he, like I said, he weighed in, offered suggestion like any father would do.
Did he not know what the...
Stephen?
But he also put the two in potential legal jeopardy. Remember that accusation that the Trump campaign was complicit with Russian operatives? Well, now it's being investigated by some of the Justice Department's top attorneys and agents.
The problem is that this is an active criminal investigation. It's something that Special Counsel Robert Mueller is looking into deeply.
Remember the old guy with the chin? He's coming for you, Donald. Oh, and Jared's texting buddy? He was sentenced to more than 7 years in jail.
Traitor!
How about that? God forbid he find a reason to indict your son. Sad Donald Hours.
But we read these stories about him angrily yelling at people, yelling at Jeff Sessions, documenting the report, yelling at other people, so frustrated. In public, he seems to say everything he's sort of a fake DJ Khaled. In public, it's all I do is win. Yes. And in private, he's screaming, I'm effed, my presidency's over, Jeff Sessions, you're terrible.
Trump is consumed by the fear that his son might go to jail. But fear not, he's paid his way out of his children being indicted before. And now, he's president. The Department of Justice finishes its investigation. The Senate Intelligence Committee recommends criminal charges. But oh look, Don Jr. avoids indictment. And no one even had to arrange a campaign contribution to make it happen.
My takeaway when all of this was going on is that someone has information on our opponent. You know, things are going a million miles an hour. You know what it's like to be on a campaign.
Not only that, but his all-out defense campaign on Fox News goes well with his father's supporters. And multiple Republican candidates ask him to campaign with them during the 2018 midterm elections.
And may I introduce to you, Don Jr.
If you think it's going well now, it can all go away like that, okay? It can end in a second, and it only ends if you sit at home. It only ends if you don't make some calls. It only ends if you don't bring your friends out. Because I get it. Okay, I get it.
Suddenly, Don Jr. isn't so much of a loser after all.
Your father has denied reports that he's worried that you might be in legal jeopardy because of the Mueller investigation. But are you scared that you could go to jail?
I'm not, because I know what I did, and I'm not worried about any of that. You know, that doesn't mean they won't try to create something. I mean, we've seen that happen with everything. But, again, I'm not.
He begins dating Fox News personality and former wife of Gavin Newsom, Kimberly Guilfoyle, giving him a further in with conservatives.
They want to enslave you to the weak, dependent, liberal, victim ideology to the point that you will not recognize this country or yourself. President Trump believes in you. He emancipates and lifts you up to live your American dream. You have the ability to choose your life and determine your destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters for freedom and liberty and the American dream, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come.
But of course, like any young and growing political career, you're bound to make some early rookie mistakes.
Hi, Patriots. Twitter suspended me for doing absolutely nothing wrong, for talking about some doctors.
For talking to some doctors who are modern-day snake oil salesmen looking to profit from the pandemic. What do you have to lose? Asked Don Jr.'s father. Your life. But it's outrage bits like this that make Don Jr. an effective political actor. A man who once shied away from his father's affairs has now become his loudest champion. His father was especially pleased when Don Jr. directed a video editor at Turning Point USA to produce this political ad.
And you will soon be heading to the school of your choice.
Well, I don't believe it. His father gave it the coveted uncredited repost. Bravo, Don, the president says. You went from right-wing conspiracist 0 to right-wing conspiracist hero. You might not be Jared or Ivanka level yet, but you're definitely getting there.